you tired of posting and hearing nothing but crickets? Let's be real, it doesn't matter how many followers you have if none of those followers are engaging. And I'm not talking about a like, I'm talking about meaningful engagement. Now, I know you know engagement is important. What you probably don't know is how to get your followers to actually engage. So today, I'm diving into the top ways to get your followers to leave comments on your Instagram posts and how to fix your engagement fast. Oh, and be sure to stay to the end because I'm going to be sharing my go-to hack for generating hundreds of comments on a single post. Hey, it's Kary, your social brand coach, and you can get started by taking my free training, Instant Strategies for Success, to learn the 3 strategies you must have to attract, nurture, and convert your followers. You can find the link in the description below. In today's video, I'm going to be breaking down the top ways to get your followers to leave more comments on Instagram into 4 sections. How to generate more comments with your content, your captions, your stories, and your engagement strategy. Now let's get started. Step 1, how to use your content to get followers to comment on Instagram. If your goal is to get more engagement on your content, then you need to prioritize creating content that makes your audience feel something. You want to tell a story through your content. Why? Because stories affect us physically and emotionally. The more we feel something, the more we want to take action. Think about it. If you're watching a captivating movie or reading an interesting book and the main character is in danger, your heart races. If the main character experiences pain, you frown. And if the main character has a big win, you celebrate with feelings of satisfaction and joy. It's called empathy, and empathy creates an emotional connection between you and the main character. Now imagine if that book or movie is your content. How can you tell a story through your content in a way that creates an emotional experience for your audience? One that leads them to take action. By sharing content your audience can personally relate to. This can be personal content of you and your family, such as a video of a special moment. Vulnerable content of your failures and struggles, such as a reel about the time you almost quit. Transparent content of your reality versus what's shown on Instagram, such as a photo before and after editing. Motivational content of successes and wins, such as a thank you note you address to yourself for believing in yourself. Or even controversial content you know your audience will have an opinion about one way or the other, such as a post making a stand on something important in your industry. The goal is to create content that makes your audience feel something. So much so they are drawn to leave a comment in order to connect with you more in a deeper way. My Social from Scratch student Fila, a relationship and self-care coach, shares transparent content of her relationship with her husband on her page. Her posts that show glimpses of her marriage allows her audience to emotionally experience a part of her life in a way that generates more connection and more engagement. Are you feeling like your followers just aren't connecting with your content? Or there's a chance you might be talking to the wrong people? Watch my video on how to write the perfect bio to make sure your page is attracting the right followers. Step 2, how to use your captions to get followers to comment on Instagram. Your captions are solid gold, baby. And I'll be real, not every follower is going to read them. A girl can dream, right? But for those that do, there are some things you can do to increase the chances of them leaving a comment. First up, we're going to talk about your call to action. A call to action, or a CTA, is a marketing term for any words or phrases used to compel your audience to act in a specific way. Basically, it's your way of telling your audience exactly what you want them to do or say. My go-to call to action to leave at the end of my captions is to ask my audience to let me know if they found my post helpful. This is a simple way of not only letting your audience know you want to hear from them, but also giving them exactly what you want them to say when they leave a comment. It's a win-win. Not sure if your audience is going to stick around and read your caption until the end? Then put a CTA at the beginning of your caption that tells your audience to drop an emoji in the comments if they can relate to what your post is about. Not only does this capture your audience's attention, but it also makes it really easy for them to engage simply by dropping an emoji. Want to shake things up and have a little fun? Ask your audience to fill in the blank. I can't live without, I'm obsessed with, my go-to caffeine fix is, I'm currently binge watching. Not only does it make your posts more interactive, but it also allows your audience to talk about themselves, which people love doing. The next way to use your captions to get more followers to comment is to ask questions, because when you ask a question, it gets them to stop and think. Okay, let's play this out in real life. Let's say you're quickly walking down the street and you're doing your best not to make eye contact with anyone that passes you. You know who you are. Then someone with a clipboard walks towards you and says, "Excuse me, I would like to tell you about," and you quickly cut them off and say, "Sorry, I'm not interested." You don't even know what they was about to say. But the next person that walks towards you points to their wrist and says, "Excuse me, Do you have the time? And you stop and check your phone and answer them, yes, it's 1:42. Then they say thank you and ask you, where are you headed? And the next thing you know, you're engaging in a full-blown small talk. That's the power of a question. It makes people stop and think. So try starting your caption with an intriguing question such as, can you believe this happened? Or what would you do if this happened? Or a question that taps into the pain points like, are you tired of posting and hearing nothing but crickets? Wait, who said that? Oh, I said that at the beginning of this video. Or with an open-ended question that allows your audience to share something about themselves, such as, what is your top goal for the year? Or what are you struggling with most? The goal is to use questions to stop your audience in their scroll to make your caption more conversational. My Social from Scratch student, Rachel, a food influencer and certified health coach, regularly uses questions in her captions that allows her audience to share about their own experiences with autoimmune struggles, with the inclusion of these questions consistently generating more comments on her posts. Want to build a community of your ideal followers ready to talk to you? Get my workshop 10K in 10 weeks where I spill the tea and the 10 secrets I use to grow my account from 0 to 10K in just 10 weeks. The link is in the description below. Step 3, how to use your stories to get followers to comment on Instagram. Okay, I know it sounds crazy, but you can use your stories to drive engagement on your feed content. Your stories are watched by some of your most engaged followers or stalkers. No, just kidding. Either way, your stories captures the undivided attention of your audience in a more direct way. So use that attention to get more engagement on your feed content. Before you share your post to your stories, start by giving your audience a little background on your post. Why did you share it? What was your thought process? What behind the scenes insight can you provide on that post? Then in the next story, actually share your post to your stories and ask your followers to comment on it. Let them know you actually want to hear from them. You can share your post by tapping on the arrow under the post in your feed and clicking add to your story. Look, there is honestly nothing more powerful than just asking for what we want. Because let's be real, your followers are following hundreds of accounts that couldn't care less whether they engaged or not. So you have to be upfront and direct about the kind of relationship you want to have with your audience. Now is not the time to be shy. I use my stories to give my viewers more details around my post of the day. It's my way of providing exclusive content to my story watchers and taking the opportunity to ask them to engage. This strategy typically leads to my post receiving 5 times more engagement than posts where I don't do this. Want more tips on things you should and should not be doing in your Instagram account this year? Then watch my video on outdated Instagram tips and what to do instead to grow fast. Step 4, how to use your engagement strategy to get your followers to comment on Instagram. Now, you can't go around expecting people to engage with you if you aren't engaging back. It's called social media for a reason. If you want to receive love, then you have to show love. Your engagement strategy should consist of 2 parts: reactive engagement and proactive engagement. And each of these can be used to increase the number of comments you receive on your posts. First, let's talk about reactive engagement. Reactive engagement is your response to others engaging with you. So for an example, when someone leaves a comment on your post and you respond back to them, that's reactive engagement. You are reacting to their engagement with reciprocated engagement. Reactive engagement is very important when it comes to generating and sustaining comments on your page. But with everything you do on Instagram, you have to have a strategy to get the most out of it. Most people either don't respond to their comments or they respond with as little words or emojis as possible. Thanks. I know, right? Smiley face. Heart. This is a terrible way to approach your reactive engagement. You want to take this opportunity to show your audience how much you appreciate their engagement so that they are encouraged to engage more. So when you respond to a comment, go above and beyond. Instead of saying thanks, say thank you so much for your kind words. I appreciate your support. And to keep them talking, go as far as to ask them a question. Which tip did you find most helpful? Not only will your response count as an additional comment on your post, but if they leave another comment answering your question, then that's one more. And if the conversation continues, that's countless of comments on just one post. And if someone asks you a question or expresses a struggle in your comments, then leave a detailed, helpful, or relatable response and pin that comment so that it's the first comment everyone sees. Not only will that follower be grateful for you taking the time to provide a detailed reply, but others will see how helpful you are as well, encouraging even more people to leave comments now and in the future. You can pin a comment by swiping left on the comment and hitting hitting the pin button. You can pin up to 3 comments per post. Now let's talk about proactive engagement. Proactive engagement is you going to your followers' pages and engaging with their posts. It's you taking a proactive approach to showing love. So instead of just reacting, you are actually showing love first. And when you do this, you are successfully tapping into your followers' reciprocity psychological response. What does that even mean, Kary? Okay, stick with me. Have you ever felt obligated to do something for someone because they first did something for you? In social psychology, reciprocity is responding to a positive action with another positive action. As a child, we learn to take turns with our toys. As an adult, we learn to return kind favors. Reciprocity plays an important role in development and continuation of relationships, having a powerful influence on our behavior, which is exactly why reciprocity is commonly used in marketing to convince an audience to do something. I'll give you this free guide if you sign up for my newsletter. I'll give you this complimentary call in hopes that you'll hire me. I'll give you a shout out if you leave a review or testimonial. And social media is no different. Not only is showing love first to your followers by commenting on their posts, liking their reels, and reacting to their stories just an amazing way to show appreciation, but it also inspires loyalty. When you put your followers first, they in return want to do the same for you. It's baked into their human psychology to return love. So if you want more engagement, you must be willing to engage. The more love you show, the more love you will receive. My Social from Scratch student, Talisha, the founder of a loose leaf tea company, saw a significant increase in her engagement on her page when she started to get intentional about her proactive engagement with her followers on their pages. Want more strategies for making the algorithm work for you and not against you? Watch my video on how to beat the Instagram algorithm. Next, I'm going to be sharing my go-to hack for generating hundreds of comments on a single post. Now, here's my bonus tip for generating hundreds of comments on a single post. Get your followers to talk to each other in your comments. The best way to do this is to create a post where you ask your followers to introduce themselves in the comments. Tell them that you want to foster community on your account and make this whole social media thing a little bit more social. Instruct them to share their name, what they do, and a fun fact about themselves. Then ask them to say hey to 2 other followers by replying to their comments. Boom, watch your comments start growing like crazy. The last time I did this on my account, it generated over 2,000 comments on a single post. The moral of the story, having a ton of followers means nothing if you can't get those followers to engage. But you can successfully get your followers to comment on Instagram by strategically leveraging your content, your captions, your stories, and your engagement strategy. If you found this video helpful, then go ahead and hit that like button and be sure to subscribe. And while you wait for next week's video, follow me on Instagram and put me in your favorites to never miss a post. And remember, Rome wasn't built in a day, so give yourself boatloads of grace along the way.